Welcome to Kentucky Football Nation. Well, let's look at a little football and try to learn a little bit. Once again, guys, I'm just going over a year old here as a channel. I'm trying to learn football. When I started this channel, I thought I knew football, but let's just learn some basics because I'm just a fan. I never played and I never coached, so I'm just trying to learn along with you. Let's talk about blitz recognition and blitz pickup because in the SEC, we are going to see the blitz, okay? First, let's go over just a couple of them. We'll go over an all-out blitz, a corner, free safety blitz, a nail blitz, which is just another defensive back blitz. Okay, let's just go over some basic ones. So when you watch the game, you'll always see people creeping up to the line of scrimmage, and you'll know what's about to happen maybe. So yeah, let's start off with blitzes. Let's start with an all-out blitz and talk about that one. So the safety gets out of the middle and everybody comes down. And that's your clue. There's nobody back there. So guess what's happening? Everybody's coming. Okay. So it's called a zero blitz. And you got to have a plan for it, guys, because if you don't, your quarterback's going to go down. So if we're down or whatever, down by a couple touchdowns, they know we're going to throw. This is when they're going to use this probably. They're going to come down and try to go after your quarterback. Then the corner blitz. They call it a cat. Cat for corner. The wide receiver has to think or has to see that the corner is going to blitz. And if he's going to sense that the corner is going to blitz, if the safety comes down, he has to call out, watch the cat, so that everybody will know it. Or the offensive lineman. Somebody has to say, watch the cat when you see the cat come down. Then you can see the wide receivers can just simply go over there and sit down. And a quick pass will take care of the cat. But you got to say, somebody has to call it out, watch the cat. So a lot of verbalization by your receivers and offensive linemen. Yeah, and it's great because for a right-handed cornerback because it's his blind side. So yeah, when you see the safety come down and the corner go to the line of scrimmage, there's your clue. And this is called a stinger, safety blitz over here. And you want to call that out. If the tight end sees it, call out stinger. That's for safety blitz. And you got to be ready for that. Somebody has to call it out. Wide receiver, because there's the defensive end. He's going to stunt. There's lots of things. They're trying to get that free safety back there in the backfield to get your quarterback. So, yeah, a lot of things they can do there. So, yeah, so we'll go down a little bit. So everybody's trying to get to the quarterback. So, yeah, that's a stinger safety blitz. All right, this is a nail, and this is out of a cover two. And the nickel back, there's your nickel back. He's going to blitz. But when the safety comes down, somebody has to call it out. You're the slot receiver, and he was covering you, and you feel like he's going to blitz. You call out, watch the nail. And then you got, once again, nail means nickel. And then, look, you see everybody's going to stunt differently. Everybody's trying to get to the quarterback. So Fox blitz, free safety, you're going to call it out. Watch the Fox. If you think he's going to blitz and he comes down, somebody has to call it out. The receiver over there or the offensive lineman tight end, call it out. So everybody's talking so the quarterback will know and everybody will know, hey, get ready to be a blitz here. And then, of course, they'll try to stunt the defensive end, your end rusher. So those are singular blitzes. But, and of course, other than the all-out blitz. So, jam front, very common, especially in college. You got a nickel covering the center. So B is for backer, and you got them up there. I said in, that's nose guard, not a nickel back, excuse me. So, yeah, you got 5 guys against 5 guys. So that's the 3-4 defense. As you can see, they have 4 linebackers. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the nose guard, will stunt. Now you're going to bring a linebacker in. He may come in. They may drop back into coverage. You know how they always walk up to the line of scrimmage and then back up. So you don't know what they're going to do. But that's a 5-0 blitz. So what's the difference between jam and backer jam? Well, backer jam, your linebackers are going to come up. And you put a linebacker right there on the center. So, yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys up there. But you put a linebacker because he's quick and you're trying to get him through the A-gap right to the quarterback. So yeah, your running back can come up and block him. That's what they're showing that you can't see back here. Yeah. A lot of ways you can block this, but you got to block it because you see that linebacker come up. He's going to come and let that running back come up and come up and take him, right? So double A's. This is everywhere too. Standard nickel front, 2 tackles, 2 ends, but you got 2 linebackers up there also. So both your linebackers are in the A gap, so they're coming, right? They're coming. Now, okay, how you going to block this? You got all these people coming. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. They could drop back or they could come. You don't know, but you got to be ready for it, especially in the A gap, or they're going to get to your quarterback. So, yeah, you have to be prepared and you have to have practiced this. And, look, we have an experienced offensive line for the most part. We spend a lot of money on our offensive line, and this is why, because they're going to blitz you. So you could use the free safety or the nickel back to come in and blitz you. You don't know. Like, yeah, so you got to study your double A's. Last couple. Load fronts. Now, this is important. Let me go up a little bit. 3 down linemen. Look, they're over here on one side. Everybody's over here. That's a load front. They're trying to load up one side, and you got to block all those people. Plus, you got a linebacker back there. You got the other guy out wide. So that's a load left or a load right front. They're going to load up and try to come after your quarterback. You're going to see this a lot. Yeah, you're going to see a stunt on this. Everybody's going to try to get into the quarterback a different route. The offensive line has to know how to block this. But they have to recognize it. And that one looks pretty easy to recognize to me. All right, last one. Double trouble. Everybody comes up. The 2 backers come up. There's your 2 tackles and you're in. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that could blitz. Yeah, so they put 1 in the A and 1 in the B, those linebackers, instead of both in the A. So now what are you going to do? You got to be ready to block these. Got to be ready to block this. Who blocks who? Yeah, so the guard and the backs and everybody's got to be on the same page to block that. You don't know. Load left, load right. You don't know. But that is a load front, guys. All right, so that's just a couple of fronts that we looked at. And a couple blitzes. So fronts and blitzes, we're going to see them. And that's why we spend so much money on offensive linemen who were experienced, like Hurd and the center from Baylor, Colton Price, and other people. And the kid from UTEP, Robinson. We spend money on offensive line because this is what you're going to see in the SEC or at any level of football, whether it be professional, high school, or whatever. Blitzes, fronts, you got to be able to recognize them. Obviously, Will Stein's going to go over all that. We will practice that. But the offensive line has to be good in the SEC. Line play, defensive and offensive lines. And on defense, we have to be able to execute those blitzes that you just saw. So, yes, it can go either way. The defense has to be able to execute it. Jay Bateman's defense, and they will, because in a 4-2-5, we're very aggressive, or he has been in the past at Florida and Texas A&M. I'm sure he will continue that on the defensive end, but on the offensive end, yes, look, we got to be ready for these blitzes. All right, once again, guys, I'm just a fan. I'm trying to learn. This is basic football 101, just trying to learn it along with you. So when you watch football, you have some idea of what's going on. All right, guys, once again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We'll get ready for spring football, and we will keep talking and doing football. I have a basketball section of the channel if you want to watch basketball, and I do lives every week. All right, guys, once again, I hope you got something out of that. Thanks for watching.